Australia is Nick's favorite place in the world, and I've never been. So when we landed in Melbourne, just the two of us, I couldn't wait to dive into the culture. I was ready to see the sights, explore like a local, and hunt down all the delicious gluten-free and dairy-free food I could find. We hit the ground running after a 28-hour travel day.
We did it! We're feeling good.
We dropped our bags at the hotel, and since our room wasn't quite ready, we freshened up in the gym bathrooms, which were actually quite nice, before heading to breakfast at Higher Ground. I'd heard so much about Melbourne having the best coffee in the world and a sophisticated foodie culture. This spot was a prime example. Because of Australia's geography, the cuisine has a wonderful Asian influence. I was excited to try my first congee with lion's mane mushrooms, a poached egg, and mushroom ketchup. Nick opted for coconut rice pudding with mango and crisp rice that was as beautiful as it was delicious.
The chili oil has a
We were consistently impressed by the clear allergen markings on menus across the city. We left so full, we had to head to the Flagstaff Gardens just to walk it off. Soon, our room at the Hyatt Centric Melbourne was ready.
corner room.
Let's see.
Ooh, nice views.
One window offered a stunning view of the Yarra River, stretching on toward the bay, while the other overlooked the city's bustling transit hub. It was surprisingly mesmerizing to watch. To prepare for the commute, we headed to Southern Cross Station to buy myki cards from the machines. It's a bit of a hurdle to track these down, so if you plan to use the trams, definitely visit a station in advance so you're ready to tap and go. This station is massive, and we even spotted a Daniel's Donuts. With locations across the city, it was great to see that they offer pre-packaged gluten-free and vegan donuts. But we were looking for something a bit more artisanal, so we spent the afternoon wandering the laneways, taking in the world-famous street art and stopping at Mork for an incredible hot cocoa. Then, drinks in hand, we explored the Block Arcade. The historic arcades and markets here feature stunning Victorian architecture that transports you straight to Europe. The mix of sleek, modern high-rises and Victorian history creates a fascinating juxtaposition that is uniquely Melbourne. Time and again, even in places where we assumed there wouldn't be a gluten-free option, we were pleasantly surprised, like this tea room. After sweeping through the city streets, we headed back to the hotel for happy hour. The Hyatt Centric was lovely, and because we booked with our American Express card, we enjoyed a room credit that covered our crudo and mocktails that evening, and breakfast later in our stay. For dinner, we went to Federation Square for Chocolate Buddha. We ate so much sushi on this trip, but Chocolate Buddha was the standout, thanks to their extensive gluten-free menu. Our favorite roll of the night was actually a vegan one. And of course, if there's a gluten-free, dairy-free dessert on the menu, you have to order it. Nick really loved the yuzu cheesecake bomb. Yum.
Today is a little bit of an adventure. Nick has business meetings all day, and I am gonna go check out some further outside the CBD areas. But it's starting to rain a little bit, so we'll see what we get. I just passed a badminton shop. I thought New York had everything, but we don't have that. Look at these cute houses. These are the terrace houses. All the details and scroll work on the terraces remind me of something you might see in New Orleans. They're very cool. See them? All that detail up top. Something I tried to do to hack my itinerary today. I have $10 on my card to take the tram, and one tram swipe is $5.30 with a max of $10.60 a day. So that's 2 trips. But a trip gives you a pass for up to 2 hours. So you can actually get somewhere and back, or get somewhere and go to another stop in 2 hours. But another tip is that they have a free tram zone in the middle of the CBD. And so I started within the free tram zone And just as I got to the edge of the free Tram Zone, I was gonna have to go one more stop to get to my destination. I said, I'll get off early so I don't have to pay and just walk that extra 6 minutes. So here we go. It started raining a bit more, so I got out my umbrella. But I should mention the trams stop like every two blocks, so don't be afraid to walk it. It's not like in New York where the subways are like 10 blocks between stations. It's 2 blocks.
Seven Seeds Coffee Roasters takes their craft very seriously, and the coffee was truly exceptional. I did have a little trouble navigating the menu, so my eggs on plain gluten-free bread were just fine. A quick tip for travelers, soy milk is common, but oat milk in Australia is generally not considered gluten-free. So we worked with what we had. Then it was back to Queen Victoria Market.
So I have bad news. Closed on Mondays and Wednesdays.
While only a few shops along the front were open, we found a charming Christmas shop with a kangaroo nativity scene and some Aussie Rules football figurines. I decided to pivot and head straight to the State Library of Victoria. The Lego display outside the children's area was a fun surprise, but the upstairs reading room was truly breathtaking. Just inside is a curated selection of Australian literature. I highly recommend picking up a book and getting lost in it for a while before heading up to the balconies to take in the architecture from above.
I just wrapped up at the library, and honestly, I thought this day was a little bit of a bust because the market was closed and the restaurant didn't have what I need exactly. But I'm having so much fun making it work, and this was beautiful, living out my Beauty and the Beast dreams. There are exhibits and things there, and they're free, and so you can do more than just pop in and look at the dome. And as beautiful as that is, I did think about parking myself and doing a little work on my phone, but instead we're going to keep walking because Nick said he has an hour free and we can have a Kmart date. Today is meant to be super flexible. We started out at Kmart to see what their home goods are, and now I'm here at Myer, which is like their Macy's. This is such a silly thing to say, but I'm so thrown by street level being ground and the second floor being 1, and I twice have gotten an elevator today and I didn't know what to do. Well, I feel like we did it. I stopped by TK Maxx, because it's not TJ Maxx, it's TK Maxx, and found some Australian-made gluten-free, dairy-free, basically peanut M&Ms. And then I also got a matcha latte back here because I did not ever actually make it out of the CBD for lunch. But that's okay because I got to explore some of the shops and things and get a sense of the culture. One of the things that Australia is known for is their bird life. I know the birds here are very noisy. I mean, there are cockatoos like flying around with their crazy, Nick is here. His meetings are done for the day. Flying around with their crazy, they look like they're pets that escaped. I haven't seen any of those yet. I've seen pigeons, it's like New York, but also some other birds that are very pretty, but they're very, very loud. Very loud. And I've heard people say, you get used to the bird noises, but they, especially in the mornings, will wake you up with all their noise. And I kind of love that. But since I didn't get to go to lunch, we're going to go to dinner very early.
Hey.
We're going for dinner.
We're going to Mamasita's, which is a Mexican restaurant, which is maybe not the first thing you would choose to go to in Melbourne.
The fact that they have Mexican.
Right. But it is 100% gluten-free and celiac-safe. So that's why I prioritized it. I also think there's a decent amount of vegan options on the menu. So that was the thought process.
You made a sound with the guacamole.
I just like how fresh and creamy the avocados are. Not watery and
What was that move again?
watery.
No, before that.
Creamy.
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
From the ceviche special to the mushroom tostadas, every bite was stellar.
Crispy fish tacos and sweet potatoes.
Then we squeezed in a dip at the hotel pool. Just another gorgeous amenity to enjoy at this hotel. One popular gluten-free spot is Seedling Cafe, so we stopped there for breakfast the next morning. I had a hearty power grain bowl, but Nick's waffles were the absolute star. They have great grab-and-go options as well. I had already mastered the tram, but today was my first ride on the Melbourne train network.
This is a service to Frankston, stopping all stations direct to Frankston.
Today I decided to get out of the CBD in the city center. CBD means Central Business District in Australia cities, and go to a neighborhood just across the river in South Yarra. It had some really cute shops. Some were boutiques, some were designer. There were a lot of mom and pop, but stuff that also was a lot of empty spaces and things that had closed recently. Wow. There are folks rowing on the river, and their coach is biking along, yelling at them in there in a megaphone. That was amazing. Oh, but what sweet little areas they have right here along the waterfront. I'm going to eat my sushi here that I got in the shopping center. Wait, are they playing cricket? They're playing cricket. Okay, I did stop into a place called Ganda, which I recognize because the ladies on Flying the Nest, Jess and Hunter, always wear their t-shirts. And so I went in there and almost bought some, but I'm trying to save money right now. So instead, I went to Big W, which is a big box store, kind of like Walmart or Target, but it's owned by Woolworths, and Woolworths is one of the major grocery stores here. So not only did I go to Big W, I also went to Woolworths. On my way out, I picked up sushi. Sushi is very common here, as there is so much Asian influence in the food, but Australians make their sushi a little differently in that they don't cut the rolls so that you can grab and go with a whole little hand roll to walk with. You just have to take a bite out of it. So let's eat our lunch. That's a weird one. I thought it was caterpillars. And as I was walking along the river, I saw a post that the city offers an audio tour for this walk through Yarra. So I'm going to listen to the captions that tell me about the bridge right there. Now, I will admit, this is not a typical tourist visit to Melbourne. Nick planned a lot of the stuff to keep me going out and seeing things and having fun while he's in meetings. I could have planned it for myself if that was a priority. He enjoys travel planning, and I enjoy letting him travel plan. So I'm just following some of his directions and then wandering off on my own. He gave so much extra wiggle room in this itinerary so that I can go to a grocery store and see what it's like for a local. And we say sometimes that you stay at an Airbnb and you feel like a local, but this one, it's a little more feel for what it might be like to be an Australian. These birds are crazy. So as much as I was spending time in just a neighborhood today, we also, at the end of our walk, came into the Royal Botanic Gardens of Melbourne. And it is stunning in here. There are so many paths and little ponds and things to check out, and there's lots of signage on everything, so you can learn about it as you go. They do a lot of work to protect native plants. They are protecting plants from neighboring countries. Like there's a whole section here that is Chinese plants that need help being preserved. They talk about what they can do to help plants and the effects of global warming on them. And it's just a beautiful refuge in the city. And it's free. I've seen lots of people around, so I feel plenty safe walking. And there's only one sign about snakes. It's mostly birds. That's really loud. Do you hear it? I can't find where it's coming from. love this gate so much. Look at the birds with the trees. I'm a sucker for tree sculptures. There's Queen Victoria Gardens and the National Gallery Victoria and the Arts Center, all just outside the Botanical Gardens. That's the Arts Center, not the Eiffel Tower.
I crossed the bridge over the Yarra back to Federation Square to take in some Aboriginal art, including an incredible exhibit featuring fashion by Aboriginal designers.
I just left the Koori Heritage Trust, which is free and open to the public. The public exhibits right now are a little small, so it only took me about 20 minutes to go through it, but they are only open till 5, so I only had about 20 minutes. I did move quickly, but it was nice to get to see some of the Aboriginal art. Koori is actually a word that encompasses First Nations, First Peoples from Australia. To be honest, it gave me a really nice glimpse of the artistic styles. Some of them are newer pieces, but they're made in traditional ways or using traditional styles. They do have guided tours, and I would love to do that because I think you get a lot of insight out of it. But it was fun just to see and to center. Australia does so much to acknowledge the history of the land and the people who have been the stewards of the land for ages. And it's nice to see and acknowledge, along with them, our gratitude and respect for the Aboriginal community. And my day isn't totally over, but we're going to Chin Chin for dinner, which is supposed to be one of the top restaurants in Melbourne. However, we're going with a business colleague of Nick's, so I'm not going to vlog it. Maybe I'll get a couple pictures for you, but I can already say, if you get a chance, go to Chin Chin.
It was a whirlwind 3 days in Melbourne, but it's already time to board our flight and head to Sydney. Stick around for more of my time down under.